Okay, we're back again and looking at brush settings. As you can see, we've clicked it open, and I'll just show you one more time where it's at. It's right here. I click again, and here we are. We've already talked about this and our spacing and our basic tools. Let's talk about what we have over here on the right-hand side, okay? We see things like shape dynamics, scattering, texture, dual brush. We're going to look at a couple of them, or at least the ones I would like you to know for this project, okay? The first one is going to be the shape dynamic tools, okay? First thing we do is we click on it. Nothing really seems to happen here. But what happens is you need to actually click on the actual name itself, the words shape dynamic. And when you do that, you'll see that there's a whole thing's changed right here. And let's look at what we have right now, okay? The first one is our size jitter. What that jitter means is randomness, and that's what I call it. It says set the size randomness, as you see the set down. Why they call it jitter, I'm fine with that. Let them go with it. But another word for jitter is randomness. If I slide this over, I want you to watch my preview down here. Notice the preview is still here. We could slide it to the right, and notice some get bigger and some get smaller. And it's really kind of cool. So let's take a look at it, what it looks like when we paint. Big and small, and that's how it looks. Now, we can set the minimum diameter. What happens is I can set it from the smallest of the small to the biggest of the big, as you see right there. Maybe I want to only do 50%. So it's going to only go from like 50% to 100%. And let's see how the difference is right here. Notice we're not getting these real small ones like we have right here, here, and here. We're just getting medium size to large sizes. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to look at, move this back down, we're going to look at the angle of the jitter. And what that means is we're just going to change the pose of the brush, as it says right over there. As I do it, notice my preview, the brush is rotating. They're randomly rotating. So it looks funny here, but notice I can do something like this. And we can totally see the difference in how it is. And it looks really, really kind of cool. And this is where if you want to build up, make textures of any sort, or maybe we can actually go over them again and again. It's building up kind of a different type of feel and texture. It's all kinds of things we can do with this. But these are some of the options that you have, okay? So let's go now to the next one. And I'm going to go ahead and take the size jitter off and the angle jitter off because I want you to actually see what this looks like, okay? So with that being said, we're going to look at what we call the roundness of the jitter or the roundness or the randomness. Now, just think you're working on this white canvas here and it's two-dimensional. Now, when I do this, I want you to watch down here specifically at my preview. The more round this is, you're going to see some of these brushes actually not rotate, but actually flatten out. And you'll see when I slowly move it, notice how some of them are actually flattening, getting really, really thin, like they're rotating 90 degrees. Some stay flat. Some are maybe got like rotated maybe about 45 degrees, and some are like almost at 90 degrees. And of course, when I paint, it looks like I've actually taken the brush and turned it sideways. Here's the flat part of the brush, but that looks like I turned it sideways and I made it like this, this, and this. So that's what the roundness does. I mean, I could go maximum where it's kind of crazy, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to leave it as something. Oh, we're at 100%, but this is the other one. Sorry. My bad. As we all do, teachers make it. This sets the minimum for it too. So again, it's just like the jitter size. You can set the minimum diameter, like 0 to 100%. Same thing with the roundness. I can make this from 1% to 100% where there's no roundness whatsoever. But I like to keep it at 1, and that's how I do it. But again, it kind of just rotates your brush. And of course, it's pretty random, which I think is pretty cool. Okay? Now notice we can flip the X jitter. We can flip that Y jitter. And notice we're getting all kinds of different brushes too, okay? And that's how that looks. So that takes care of the shape dynamics. We're going to move on to one more, and we're going to move on to what we call the scattering, okay? So let's go ahead and set these all back down so it's normal. And let's unclick the shape dynamics. Let's get back to our brushes, hit brush tip shapes. We're back to our normal one. And let's click on scattering, okay? Clear off my thing, and let's click the word scattering. Now scattering is something totally different. What scattering is, watch my preview, the more I do it, the more it literally scatters. Like say you're playing 8-ball. You throw the ball up and you call a number, somebody catches it and everyone just kind of scatters. Or you're playing kick the can and the people are hide and seek and that one person starts counting. People scatter. They run all different directions. That's what it means. Look at the brushes going all different directions. So when I do it at say 17%, my brush has no consistency. It just kind of goes and it does that. And mind you, I can get wild with it where it's off the page. And they're all over the place. That's what scatter is. Now, come here. Let's bring this down a little bit. We can do our count. There's a lot more here. The higher my number is, the more it actually scatters and puts more brush marks on there. So there it is at 4. See what 2 looks like. There's 2. Not too bad. A few of them are overlapping. Let's take a look at 16. You're literally getting big stripes where it's almost crazy. So that's what it does, and that's where it goes. Now, we can also do the count jitter. And notice when I do that, you'll see it even moves too, where it can go up to 100% where it's just totally crazy. So that's what scattering is also. So if I put the two together, and let's put my jitter down to 0. Let's put my count down to 0. Let's do scattering like this. Let's go over here and kick some shape dynamics. We'll do the different sizes. Let's change the angles. Let me clear our board off, and let's see what this brush looks like. And look what I got going here. So again, these are some of the cool things you can possibly do. And those are the first two, I guess, brush techniques that are in this whole brush settings. And I'll stop right here and we'll go on for some more next one.